This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
Oh, hello. Brilliant. Come on in. Thanks for answering the ad about house sitting our podcast while Tracy and I are in Orlando. Okay, right. So, welcome to UUOP Network headquarters. We have 5 studios as of right now, so if you follow me, I'll give you a quick tour of the building and introduce you to the gang so you know who you're looking after while we're away. So, just kind of filling you in before we get started and I introduce you to everyone. I'll give you a bit of background on the network. So the network officially began just last year, surprisingly enough. But it's been a thing for a few years now in an unofficial capacity. We kind of had a mutual beneficial relationship with one of the current network podcasts. And then we added in our sister spin-off shows, and then starting another 2 this year. It seemed the right time to actually officially start the network. More will become apparent as we get through. Okay, so here we go. First up, Studio One. And this is home to the newest podcast on the network, and that is the Portkey Passport podcast. I think they're recording, so shh, be quiet.
See, I told you it was going to get fatter.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I'm just coming around introducing you to the sitter while Tracy and I are in Orlando. I know Michelle is your podcast overlord, and of course she's not here right now, but I think she's with the Russia for you guys, so I'll catch up with her later. But I just wanted you to introduce yourselves and let the sitter know who you are and what your role is on the podcast, please.
Hi, I'm April. I'm one of the hosts of Portkey Passport, and I also cover your Disney news.
Hi, I'm Brittany, and I am also one of the hosts. I bring the humor, humiliation, and I love to eat, so I like to talk about the food at Disney.
Hi, I'm Jack, and I am also one of the hosts on the Portkey podcast, and I also try to bring the humor, and I also love to eat as well. And I am Brittany's best friend.
I guess you two are the boots on the ground as well, living in Orlando.
Yes.
We are.
And we are always on site every weekend, it seems like.
This is so hard for me. This is so hard for me as a hardcore Universal fan to be talking to people who say they're on site at Disney all the time.
They're on site at Universal all the time, too.
Yeah, we'll be at Universal tomorrow if it makes you feel better.
It does. It makes me feel much better.
We can see the Wicked stuff.
Of course.
I'm Nicole. I am not a host, but I am the admin, and I do host our special segment, Portkey Accommodates, where we focus on traveling with special needs.
And I'm Tiani. I'm also a host of the podcast, and I see myself as like the voice of reason, the one that keeps Brittany and Jack from fighting, who keeps it together, tries to bring us back to the topic.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But I love laughing with Brittany and Jack. They're hilarious.
Yeah, you guys are the newest podcast on the network, as we've talked about, that was born out of... So the UUOP network is something I've had in my mind for a long, long time, and it finally came together at the beginning of this year. And I always wanted... however much it kills me to say, a Disney World podcast to sort of branch out to cover more than just Universal. And Michelle and I kind of discussed it. She's like, leave it with me. I will put a team together because that woman apparently isn't busy enough. and you guys were born out of that. So you've been going, what 4 months now, I think?
Yeah, we just finished our 10th episode.
We sure did.
So how's it going? How do you feel it's going? Because you are all, as far as I'm aware, Brittany and Jack, I know you've been on UUOP before. Nicole, you've been on. But how does it feel having your own podcast now?
I'm having a blast.
It's really fun. Yeah, I mean, Disney, I'm like a new lover of Disney. I've always been big on Universal, but I love connecting on Disney and talking about it, and then talking about the real stuff too, not just the magical part of it. That's been really, really fun.
Yes, that's what I love about it, is getting to actually talk like real people about things that happen at Disney and not just, sprinkle it with the pixie dust, and we get to be real about it.
Well, and I'm out on the West Coast, so I love talking about Disneyland and then learning all the different things about Disney World, because I have only been to Disney World a handful of times, where I've been to Disneyland, like many, many, many times.
And some of us haven't even been to Disneyland yet.
Having that with you, April, when you're on, it's interesting that they'll be like, the guys will be talking about something at Disney World that's in Disneyland, and hearing that difference between the two is great as well.
It's very different.
Yeah.
It's like, whose castle's bigger?
Ours, of course.
Well, we know the answer to that, but
right.
Where's the rest of you?
Bigger is not always better.
I think one of the most interesting parts is when she told us that Big Thunder Railroad was like a mirror of itself on Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like it was like opposite sides. They were doing the same exact thing, but different ways. So I love when April comes in with those facts that we've never thought of ever.
I do too.
Going off the back of what Brittany said, being honest, it's something we've always prided ourselves on UUOP as well, of like, these theme parks are supposed to be the most magical places on earth, but they're not always the most magical places on earth. And if you tell people that it's going to be and they have a less than stellar experience, it just makes it feel a lot worse. And when you guys were talking about the new Lightning Lane that came on sale recently, that you were honest, you're like, is it worth that cost? No, honestly.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
But
not.
it was nice to hear that honest opinion, because a lot of people are like, if you want to skip that, but you were basically just like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
A question I had for you guys. There are a million Disney World podcasts out there. And I've said to you before we've spoken, saying that you guys definitely feel fresh and different to everything else that's out there. Is that something that you've purposefully gone to do for the podcast? And how have you managed to do that?
I think our personalities kind of made it that way. Like, I think just immediately we're all very honest and real people, and also very funny. So automatically, I think when people think of Disney, they think of like family friendly oriented. We have to like be careful of cursing and talking about any sexual jokes. So like immediately we were like, let's just talk like how we would talk. And if that is a sexual innuendo or two, then that's what's going to happen. So I think that automatically made us different.
We're the only Disney podcast that is called Chernabog Daddy.
Yes.
Right.
That is so weird. What are you talking about?
They've all divulged their crazy obsessions with certain characters.
Oh, I know.
All right.
It's pretty comical. I think too, in keeping the realness in it is just my segments we drill down, and it's the same thing. It's very hard to plan a trip. It's twice as hard to plan a trip with somebody who has special needs. So I think that's been nice to add for people to access.
Yeah. It's one of those things as well, because like we haven't been to Disney properly in over 10 years, and we will venture back at some point. Don't get me wrong, we went to Epcot in 2020, we did Mickey's Not So Scary last year, we're doing Mickey's Very Merry this year, but to actually go and have a proper vacation at Disney World was 2013 the last time we did that. And Disney World has changed so much since then. And if you haven't been during that time, going to Disney World is such a daunting experience. And it's one of those things that looking for podcasts to find that information is difficult, because so many of them have been going for so long and aren't going to be looking into those hints and tips that people going now need to be. And because you guys are relatively new, you're still kind of talking about those hints and tips, because you're covering it from, this is brand new to us, so we need to cover a lot of those things. And I think that's definitely something you guys bring to the table, that you not only you accessible, but accessible for people who are looking for information now, and not from a podcast that's been going for 10 years or more.
Yeah, I also think we have a variety of Disney goers on the podcast, where you have me and Brittany, who are the locals, and then you have Tiani and April, who, you know, would come here on a proper vacation. And then you have April out in Disneyland. We are planning a Disneyland vacation for next October.
Nice.
So we have a variety of, hey, what's it like to go to Disney as somebody who's local or somebody who lives out of the country?
Yeah, that's huge. It's like when you look at UUOP for us, like Tracy and I coming out of the country, we've got Chris, who's a local, and Michelle, who lives in South Carolina, who is also a travel agent, which you guys all are, which will also give you a different perspective as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate you coming and, well, not coming because we came to you, but introducing yourself to the babysitter. I shouldn't call him a babysitter, but Jack, we all know you need babysitting.
I have no idea what you mean.
I would appreciate it if because the sitter might want to have a listen before they come and look after you and know exactly what they're getting into. Can you tell everyone where they can find your podcast and keep up on the socials?
I feel like our admin would be great at that.
Yeah, Nicole.
Okay. Yeah, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. The Portkey Passport.
There we go.
Speaking of social, I just want to throw out, while she's not a host, she is very much a backbone of our podcast, and that's Trisha Hellwig. She handles the majority of our social media.
I know that name. She is a Producers Club member.
She is.
Cool. Anyway, thanks, guys. Go easy on the sitter. I know you guys can be a handful, but I do appreciate it. And yeah, they're just here to look after. So I will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
There you go. So they're the guys. And to be fair, they're pretty easy to look after. Just stick your head in every now and again. Feed water them every 2 weeks. But just watch Jack. He can be a bit of a handful. Okay. And we are moving on to the next studio. To be honest with you, all the podcasts are pretty easygoing and fairly self-sufficient, to be honest. But some will need a firm hand every now and again. And who you need to keep that firm hand with will become apparent. Okie dokie, here we are, Studio 2. This is the home of Rush of Fear, our Halloween Horror Nights podcast. Let's see what they're up to. They might be recording as well, actually. So just...
Oh, I really love the projection mapping of the firehouse being frozen. I thought that was so cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you three. Two. Where's Michelle?
You know... It's Michelle.
She's always wandering in and out. We never really know where she goes.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, to be fair. She'll be either booking Helios rooms for herself or booking tickets for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the busiest one of the... Well, I don't know. It's a real tough competition of who's the busiest with the three of us. But, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I'll catch up with Anita later anyway. So if you see her, do tell her I need her in Studio 5 a little bit later. But anyway, sorry to interrupt the recording, which is quite normal, isn't it, for you to be like either just you two or, you know, Michelle and Kenneth eating sushi. Who knows where you're going to find you guys?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I just wanted to introduce the sitter who's going to be looking after you while Tracy and I are in Orlando.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
So,
I'm Maddie.
Yes.
Hey,
well,
I'm
we'll
Kenneth.
get there.
Oh, okay.
But I just thought it would be cool if you introduced, because they don't know the network or anything, so I just thought it'd be cool to introduce yourselves and let them know your role at Rush of Fear. I'm interested to know what you see as your roles on Rush of Fear, actually.
Oh, man.
My role on Rush of Fear, I think, is to be the encyclopedia of trivia and what years things happened.
I would agree with that.
And also to make the dumbest jokes you've ever heard.
I think the funniest jokes is the actual proper.
Hey, dumb is not a bad word.
Yeah, no.
True.
I would back that up. I asked Michelle a question on UUOP recently about Halloween Horror Nights, and she went, that's a Kenneth question.
I remember hearing that, and I don't remember what the question was, but I did
remember.
know the answer to it.
Yes.
We'll have to get a catalog. Yeah. I exist here in the Rush of Fear studio. I run a majority of our social media, so sorry if I haven't posted in a while. Life does get pretty crazy. But yeah, I also edit our podcast, which has been a fun thing to learn. You know, technology is ever changing and sometimes doesn't work. So
I hear you there. As someone who's been doing this for 13 years, I get that.
Yeah. It's super fun. But yeah, I think that's my role. I'm here. Hey.
And actually, for just so you know, you two have a unique viewpoint when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, having both worked the event as well.
That's true.
Yeah, and we're locals. So
which, yes, Maddie's there every night of the year. Or every night of the Horror Night year.
Yeah, Kenneth too.
Yeah.
I just post about it more. So it's out there.
Yeah, I don't post so much. I don't love to be on my phone when I'm out enjoying things.
That's fair enough.
To just be there in the moment. But yeah, I try to go like 2 or 3 nights a week whenever during Horror Nights season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you a question while she's not here. How do you see Michelle's role on the podcast?
Michelle is our personal travel agent. I like whenever I have a question about ticketing or like hotels or just kind of how the inner workings of things like that work, essentially, like Michelle has the answer, which has been very fun for both the podcast, but also personally as well.
Yes.
Like it's very nice having Michelle here. I do love it.
I feel like Maddie and I, we both have the insider perspective of having been characters and having worked at Halloween Horror Nights. But Michelle has almost an insider perspective from the other end of like knowing the packages and, the prices and more of the logistical knowledge that you need to be able to successfully visit Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes, she brings that perspective to UUOP as well, and it's great. It's great to have that perspective because not many other podcasts have that perspective.
Yeah. And Michelle has also introduced us to so many wonderful people through different opportunities that we've gotten because of who she knows. So that has also been like really exciting for us. And we got to go on an RIP tour because of Michelle. So I honestly can never thank her enough for that opportunity. Oh yeah, twice.
Oh,
that is true.
Forever now.
It is tough. I have to agree with her. It's tough.
They're very expensive now.
I let the RIP be the exception, not the norm. I'm just like, this is a great one special night. Yeah. And it, this is, don't get used to it,
Fair.
Because they are expensive. So Rush of Fear, you guys have been going, 3 years now? 3 years? When did we set you up?
Fourth season.
Yeah, this was our 4th Halloween Horror Nights that we covered as this podcast.
So we set you up, didn't we, in 2020 when we thought Horror Nights was going to go ahead that year and it didn't.
Yeah.
So your first year covering the event will have been 2021.
2021 was the first year, that we did.
And we were on the UUOP feed.
Yes. So how's it been? Obviously, you've been on, I think, Maddie, you've been on UUOP before. Kenneth, you've got your own other podcast and stuff. But how has it been covering something that you all obviously love? And again, as we've said, have such an insider knowledge of it. How has covering it from a podcast point of view changed or not changed that perspective?
That's a good question.
I don't know that it's changed my perspective on the event at all. I think that the reason I enjoy talking about it on the show is because I already enjoy it so much. But I do think that it changes the way I guess the way I have to articulate how I feel about things. Now I have to think about it more. Whereas before I could just go and enjoy it and it didn't matter how I felt about it. And so I think I just have to be a little bit more analytical of walking through or trying to figure out what I like about things and what I don't like about things.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Like going to the event, like I focus a lot more on the fine details because I want to share them like with each other and with all of our like listeners. I think that has always been really fun. And another thing is just meeting so many people because of the podcast that I probably wouldn't have either met or had really great conversations with beforehand. Like I'm known at work as the Rush of Fear girl because like my coworkers know that I have a podcast and we talk about Halloween Horror Nights. So anytime there is anything on social media about announcements or speculation, I clock in at work and it's like, Maddie, like, did you see? And I'm like, yes, I saw. Yeah. And I'm so excited. Let's talk about it. So I think that's been really fun, like getting to share my passion openly a lot more than I did before we started.
Yeah. And it's that thing, it just proves, like, I know you guys and I know what a busy schedule we've proved that, Michelle, because we don't even know where she is, right? How busy
Missing.
busy a schedule you guys have that you make the time to not only put out your once a month episodes, but then obviously when it gets around to sort of June, July, August, September, when things really start to ramp up, you're putting out content all the time, not necessarily podcasts, but also, like you said, Maddie, on your social media and stuff. And it shows how much you love Horror Nights, how much you love the podcast, that you're prepared to put sleep on the back burner to to put content out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helps that we all actually really get along well.
And that was a complete bonus, because I didn't know when I reached out to the three of you to put this team together that you would get on as well as you have. But you really have.
It makes it easy to talk about something you love with people that you love talking to.
Yeah. And like even when it's not podcast related, like if Michelle comes into town, we always do dinner.
Yeah.
And, or like we'll go to the park together, either all together or just kind of like one-on-one, depending on schedules. And I think that has been so nice. And it's also been a great bonus of being a part of the network and also making so many friends outside of just the three of us as well.
Yes.
And like getting to see them at the parks and hang out with them. And it's just such a nice community.
It really
outside
is.
of Horror Nights. Like the podcast and the UUOP podcast family is so wonderful.
It is, because it's like, we know the theme park community can be a show at times. We do know that. But I think our community isn't like that. And it's, you're right. Family is more than anything. And you are, all three of you, part of the family now, 100%.
Family's forever, Lee. Come on.
It's true. It's true. I've got a question. I'm going to throw you not under the bus, but this is... So there are many Halloween Horror Nights podcasts out there. This is the last question I'm going to give you, actually. There are many. What do you guys bring to the table that's different to everybody else?
Oof.
Oh.
I do think that we have the unique perspective, like we've talked about, of all of our different backgrounds. Kenneth and I have worked the event. We're locals. Michelle is not a local and has, done other things within the Horror Nights, event realm.
Because she's a 1%er, you mean, and gets to do all the stuff that no one else can afford to do.
Yeah, she's fancy. She has the fancy perspective.
Yes.
But I mean, other than that, I don't know. Kenneth, do you have any? I just think we're cool.
I do think that we're the most fun show. I have listened to a lot of shows, and while I enjoy them and I do like listening to them, sometimes it just feels like nobody's laughing. Nobody's having fun.
Yeah.
They're just talking details. Yep. And there's nothing in the world that I would be able to talk about without trying to make jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think that we are probably the funniest, or if not the most fun Horror Nights show.
Our episodes used to be like 30, 40 minutes back when we were like just getting into our groove and, still kind of wary of how the other person kind of interacted on the podcast. But nowadays I am editing almost 30-minute long episodes, because we take a thing and we run with it.
Oh, yeah.
And like, we have so many bits now. We're so silly. Like Lindsay will sit next to me on her computer, because our computer desks are next to each other while I record, and she'll be silent laughing only by hearing what I'm saying, not even what is actually going on the podcast. And I just think that's so fun.
Well, I know we recorded 2 episodes of UUOP this past Monday, and Michelle was off the back of recording 2 episodes of Rush of Fear, and she was all talked out. I think she was dead by the end of it.
Yeah, and that was those were our 2 big wrap up HHN 33 episodes too. So there was a lot to say. One
of the things I will say, that there's an iTunes review out there that one of the things that was a big compliment to you guys is it said there was you guys don't gatekeep anything. And I think you do find that in the community sometimes, that people won't share certain tips, and you guys look, Maddie, you're a fairly new fan of Halloween Horror Nights. Michelle hasn't been going that long. Kenneth, you've been going forever. But because of that, you just want to help everybody navigate this event, which can be difficult if you don't know, but you guys are just there to help people make the most out of it, rather than we know what we're doing, but we're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
If we can help, it's
Yeah, I think that's so important in the theme park community too, because there's such a difference between expecting. We at Magic Kingdom, that's not where I work, at Walt Disney World, like when people come in and they expect to be pixie dusted or given something special, that's so different than, hey, like here are ways for you to enjoy your vacation, enjoy your time at this park that you spent a ton of money to be at, and have these kind of awesome opportunities and awesome moments, and not just kind of go in expecting these little tiny magical things to happen to you all the time. So if I can tell you, like, hey, if you go to this bar that's in the back of, Lombard's, the bartenders are so nice. You're going to get a really great drink. There's no music. It's so nice and relaxing. And then once you're done there, then go to another part. Like, I'm going to share that information because I want you to have the best time just like I had.
Absolutely.
Like, and if you come and you see us, like, hang out with us. Like, I'm not going to gatekeep it because that's my special spot.
Yeah.
No, it's now everybody's special spot. Like, that's so silly.
Cool. I agree. Yeah. I love Rush of Fear.
Aw,
thanks,
we love you
Lee.
too.
We love you, the Podfather.
Yeah.
The bald overlord is what Gabe now calls me.
I know, it's so funny.
Cool. Yeah. So if our babysitter here would like to, babysitter, I shouldn't call them that, our podcast sitter would like to keep in touch, where can they find everything that you guys offer?
Well, you can find the show, obviously, on any podcast apps that you use. It's called Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast. And you can find us on social media at Rush of Fear Pod. And also to the sitter, just so you know, our bedtime is way later than what Lee said, and we are allowed to have ice cream.
Yeah. Before
all the way up
dinner.
Yeah, we are.
We'll see. Anyway, yes, thank you guys. It's not for a couple of weeks we go away, so you'll be fine. Just like I say, I was just introducing them around, so I will let you get back to it. Again, if you see Michelle, tell her I need her in Studio 5 soon, please.
We'll let her know.
Give her a kick, and maybe I'll see you guys in the fog next year. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe.
All right.
We'll be there.
I'm sure you will be. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Awesome. So there you go. That's the Rush of Fear gang. Again, pretty self-sufficient. They pretty much keep the cells to themselves, but are always open for anything you want, really. But they can be known to overwork themselves sometimes, so just check up every now and again. And again, they'll only need feeding and watering once a month, unless you happen to be here another time leading up to Halloween Horror Nights, and then they can need looking after a hell of a lot more. So anyway, again, we are moving on. I mean, all the podcasts are a good bunch of guys. I'm sure you'll have an absolute blast looking after them. It'll be more like a party than house sitting, all the podcast. Here we are, Studio 3, which is home to the ladies of the Taste of Universal podcast. Let's see what they've got going on. And honestly, when you come in here, don't come in hungry.
Okay, I'll take one for the team.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks.
We're going to watch you while you eat them. We're just going to sit there and stare at you really creepy. Like, how is it?
It's like heart eyes.
Hey, ladies. Just wanted to butt in and introduce the sitter.
Sitter?
Yeah, well, we need someone to look after all the podcasts while we're away. Do you trust them all?
Fair enough.
So anyway, please go ahead, everyone, and introduce yourselves to the sitter and let them know who you are and your role on the podcast, if you would.
Hey, this is Kayla, and I am a podcaster on Taste of Universal. I have celiac, so I'm the gluten-free representation on the Taste of Universal.
Hi guys, I'm Kelly from Taste of Universal too. I have severe dairy allergies, so I am dairy-free and always up on the allergen news across the parks, and I'm a Ravenclaw.
Hi, I'm Shelby. I am a co-host on Taste of Universal as well. I'm vegan, so I am very up on all of the vegan options across the resort, and I am a Hufflepuff.
Yay!
Just to add that in.
And she also has the best hawk eyes noticing menu changes.
Thank you.
There's no one better in the business than Shelby.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
I told you we needed a sitter, by the way.
I'm Tracy. I'm also a Ravenclaw. I eat almost everything, even though people say I'm fussy. Don't know. I'm a head chef. And yeah, I just enjoy spending time with We're my girls.
So yeah, I kind of just wanted to let you guys talk and let the sitter know sort of who you are and what the podcast is, because they're just looking after you, but they might want to be interested and might want to go and check you guys out. So the podcast is at this point nearly a year old. I can't believe. When this comes out, I think it'll actually be 12 episodes deep at this point. And I think I've said it before that you guys were born out of an episode of UUOP when I had Kayla, Shelby and Kelly on to talk about food and stuff at the parks. And then Tracy was like, hey, I want to be in on this, because she'd been talking about it a while. But, what has the podcast meant to you guys? I know UUOP has become such a huge part of my life. How has it affected your life being part of an actual podcast now rather than just the fandom?
I have loved, Shelby's Hawkeyes have kept me up to speed on food I probably would have missed, just because there's always there's sometimes big changes like Circus McGurkus, but there's more, the little changes with like an ad here and there or maybe like a replacement. But I really enjoy spreading the knowledge. I'm hoping that we're, reaching people and they're hearing that. Again, we've said it a lot of times, Disney gets a lot of credit for their food and, theme park restaurants being elevated, but I think Universal is potentially surpassing them. I have enjoyed Universal food more than Disney. And yeah, I love being part of this change in Universal and helping people here. And I hope that, even if we have a couple of people that were like, oh, I didn't know they had that cool thing, and go try it to see. And then that person can spread to their family and friends, and it can kind of just spread like wildfire, and we can start giving Universal the credit I think they really deserve.
Agreed. I think that's well said.
Very much so. I'm just proud of the fact that we're, a completely female podcast and we're bringing this information to everybody. And the fact that we are so diverse in everything, like you said, just hopefully we're helping everybody to have an even better vacation, which is obviously what I'm wanting from UUOP as well. So this is just a really great extension of that. Yeah, I just think that we've got a really good dynamic as well. And I hope that comes across.
Yeah, I agree with Kayla as far as it's really pushed me outside of my bubble of all of my favorite dishes that I always get when I go. I live in St. Louis, so I'm not local enough to do what Shelby does and be like, I wonder what I want for dinner. Do I want a vegan pasty, or do I want like something from Circus McGurkus? Like I have a limited time while I'm there, but it really has pushed me to try things outside of my comfort zone, and also just generally bringing more awareness to food allergies and things like that to people who listen that don't have that as well, so that maybe we can start to make the world a little bit of a kinder place for people who have to have modifications to food and might be holding you up in line. But yeah, just loved the community that we've built out of this. And Universal Food is really stepping the game up. And I'm also happy to be a part of the people talking about how the tide is changing.
I agree. I think Universal, like there's so many things happening all the time. Like obviously we see how much news we have every month. And I know sometimes we don't even get to everything. Just bringing in awareness to all these new things that Universal is doing, because it's not like a lot of people don't advertise these things. Like I didn't see that one menu, the one in Toon Lagoon posted anywhere. Like, so us having that eagle eye on things and being able to share that out, I think is really good, especially even if it's items that we can't necessarily eat or enjoy, because I can't enjoy anything from that stand, but I would love to share that out so that other people can try something unique. That like that banana pudding, like Kelly, I think to your point, I don't think Disney has anything like that. I've not heard of anything over there like that. So just really bringing an awareness to all these unique things that Universal's creating for everyone.
Oh, we're helping Seth Kaburski with his
I'm sure we help with that too. Little things.
Shelby is our Seth Kaburski with her eye on all the little things.
Shelby finds all the new foods and I find all the typos in their menus.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Shelby's the only person I know that treats Universal Orlando not as a theme park, but as her own personal food court. It's like, I don't ride rides. I just go and say, what do I fancy eating today? Oh, and Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, that's not untrue.
But it is that thing of like I think I'm up on Universal stuff, obviously covering a lot of it for UUOP, so it's in my feeds, social media and stuff, and you guys bring up stuff that I didn't even know. So from that point of view, the fact that you're giving me information, someone who's up on this, the information that you'd be giving on the average person is amazing, and it's one of those things that if you're listening to this on the obviously UUOP feed and you're not listening to the Taste of Universal and you are planning a trip, it is something you should be listening to, because you might learn things about the food that you didn't know. I can't imagine, Kelly, we've talked about, I can't imagine going to a theme park, going anywhere to eat, to be fair, but especially a theme park, with a dietary restriction that you have that can literally be lethal.
Mm-hmm.
That could be so daunting for someone. If you don't have that knowledge, then you're literally eating the basic blandest foods there. Whereas if you're listening to Taste of Universal and going along with what you guys are talking about, your whole menu options can be expanded massively with confidence. And I think that's the big deal.
Yeah, the food in general is getting better, but that it's, also the allergen options. Like when I was growing up, the allergen meal at a restaurant would be a grilled chicken breast and steamed broccoli and like French fries if I'm lucky. And that was it. We'd go on vacation, no matter where we went, and it was a grilled chicken breast with steamed broccoli and maybe French fries. And that's stuff that I've tried in the last 5-ish, 10 years, but really the last 5 years, it's just like, I can't believe A, that I'm eating this in a theme park, and B, that it's dairy free, and that, it's amazing.
I will echo that. Like the vegan options that they offer, like I'm in shock sometimes with like what they've created. And, I give them a little bit of a hard time because there's some things they could do better, of course. But for the most part, like offering vegan churros before Disney, come on.
Yeah.
Universal has got it going on. Like the fact that they did that and have offered them several times, like it makes me feel special, even though like I know they're not doing it for me personally, but just being able to have something that's a similar experience to someone who doesn't have dietary restrictions is just, it's a phenomenal feeling. And I feel so special that they care enough to create things that are for a variety of dietary restrictions or, lack thereof.
Exactly. I mean, Tracy, I'm sure it's going to affect our next trip. We're going to end up eating at places that we wouldn't normally, or trying things that we wouldn't normally, because from your perspective, you need to try it. We've become very much stuck in the places we eat because because we don't go that often. It's too easy to just go to those places that you know are good and sometimes a branch out. And we've already talked about it, that going to places and trying things because of obviously content for the podcast.
Well, look, there's 2 more places on the list now, so.
Oh, God. Well, thank you very much, girls. Again, I'm loving what you guys are doing. Everyone listening, and obviously the sitter, go and check them out. I think you'll enjoy them. But can you guys let everyone know where they can keep up on what you guys are going on?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Universal Orlando Vegans, or you can join our Facebook group. There's a lot of discussion in there, and people ask questions and ask for feedback, and it's a really great place to have that community together. So,
and then our Taste of Universal Instagram handle is all one word, Taste of Universal Podcast, and there's a Facebook page as well that's just Taste of Universal. And you can email all of your questions and comments to thetasteofuniversal@gmail.com.
And you can find the podcast wherever you find your podcasts.
Cool. Right. Sorry to interrupt you guys recording. I will let you get on, but as I say, I just wanted to introduce the sitter, who will be popping in every now and again just to keep an eye on Feed and Water. You make sure you're all because we won't be here. We'll be enjoying ourselves, so carry on podcasting.
Make sure we're not talking inappropriately about Kong dogs.
Yes. So I will see you guys later.
Bye, Lee.
Bye.
Okay, Tracy, don't forget, I need you in Studio 5 in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Quicker you get off, the quicker I get sorted. Go away.
Cool. Right, we've only got 2 left. I hope you're finding this helpful. Oh, and those ladies, you'll only need to feed them once while we're away. And honestly, they're no hassle at all. As I've said, the same with everyone else. Just check in from time to time. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, the next 2 are a little different, but I'll let them introduce themselves. This is Studio 4, and this is home to the Theme Park Duo podcast.
Is there like food and drinks?
No,
just giving everyone an overall.
No food and drinks. There might be some candies and bowls, but that's about it.
That's fine.
No food and drinks. There's really nothing around.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to introduce the sitter who'll be looking after you while Tracy and I are in Orlando.
Hi.
Hey. So yeah, I'm just going around introducing them to all the teams and then discussing kind of what you all do so they know what's going on. But obviously at this point, please introduce yourselves and let them know, again, I'm interested in this, what your role on Theme Park Duo is.
Okay, so I'm Nikki.
And I'm Gabe.
And we are
the Theme Park Duo. And we are co-creators and co-producers of the Theme Park Duo podcast, which usually covers anything and everything that is themed entertainment related. So it is your theme parks, escape rooms, your conventions, and everything in between.
Yeah, and Gabe is really the backbone of the podcast. He does all the research. He does all the editing. He goes to most of the events.
Nikki, you just show up and do what you're told at this point, huh?
Oh my God, that is a way to put it. I like to think that I am a nice counterbalance to you.
You are literally the safety net. You are my safety net. If I am shot out of a cannon, you are that net that catches me.
Thank you. That is a much nicer way to put it.
No, you're
and
so
I like
helpful.
to think that I bring plenty of interesting tangents and banters.
Yeah, usually that's brought upon by Topo Chicos, but I mean, nonetheless, those tangents are very entertaining, and the mistakes that come along with them.
Yeah,
because I don't edit them out.
You make me think of an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where you are the wild card.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I'm the wild card.
Yeah.
That's my new title.
So you guys, as far as this network goes, are kind of an anomaly because every other podcast has been born out of UUOP and you haven't. You set up on your own and we brought you into the fold. So where did Theme Park Duo come from?
I think Theme Park Duo kind of was birthed from a previous podcast that I had that didn't go as well as I had hoped it went.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was really one night where I was sitting down and I was just really down. I was really upset about it being not going anymore and not really having a creative outlet for myself in terms of the themed entertainment realm and someone to talk to. And Nikki really, to her credit, stood up and was like, why don't we do one? And I never asked because Nikki, you know,
I'm very shy.
is fairly shy. You know, it isn't something that she would normally do. I mean, for people who listen to the podcast, and if you don't and you start listening, you're gonna be like, Nikki's shy.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
makes no sense. I don't get that. But Nikki, on a normal everyday basis, is a fairly shy person. So the fact that she stood up and was like, I volunteer myself. It's like I
volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer as tribute. You know, I was shocked, but.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was shocked, but I was so happy, and that was kind of where Theme Park Duo was birthed.
Yeah.
And I think really through the evolution of the show from like the very first episode to where we are now, we have evolved even more, you know, incorporating a little bit of our kid into that as well.
Yes.
You know, and most recently taking her to Not Scary Farm, Halloween Horror Nights, Fright Fest, and talking about those experiences. So we haven't really hit our peak yet because I don't think there ever really is one because we're always changing and evolving what we're doing.
It's kind of a random, like what we've always said about our podcast is it's the conversations that we would normally have on like our drive home from an event or, you know, sitting in our own living room. So might as well stick a microphone in our face and, you know, record it. And that's kind of what it is. And so it's kind of like, it's not, it's kind of like a slice of life.
It really is. And I think a big part of what we wanted to capture in the show isn't, hey, listen to these people talk about X topic as much as it is listen to your two friends that you feel like you're in the car with that you're talking about these things with.
Because we're never the first to break any news or any major things.
Oh, hell no, we're not.
Yeah, but
I get that.
we talk about our opinions on those things. So
Yeah. I think one of the things, like we've had a sort of mutual relationship with you guys for a while, and then when I actually decided to pull the trigger on the network, it was a no-brainer to add you guys in. Because Gabe, I think you and I have talked about it. You kind of are the American counterparts to Tracy and I. Really, it feels very similar in that relationship.
It very much so, and I think it was uncanny how similar that the relationships were like that. And it just felt kind of natural when we joined a part of the UUOP network. It just feels like we're along friends with the similar interests and similar love for the themed entertainment realm. And albeit, we're out here on the West Coast and the other shows are on the East Coast and you're all the way in the UK, it feels like we're all very, very close in the first place.
What's
so
a few
it's
time
nice.
zones between friends?
Yeah, what's a few
exactly.
time zones between friends.
I'll tell you what that time zone is between a few friends. The death of a podcast. That's what it is.
That's true. Whoops.
But yeah, you can see again how much the network is a family by the fact that when you guys came out, I don't even live in Orlando, went out, that's how bad it is for me. When you went out for Halloween Horror Nights this year, Kenneth picked you up at the airport, you hung out with Kenneth and Maddie during the event. It's like, it is a family, and it's crazy that we've never met in person, yet it's just so comfortable whenever we do get to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually really funny you even said that, because me and you are so comfortable talking, yet we've never met before in our lives. Like we've met over the internet. Yeah. That's insanity to me. Like, the world is crazy, but I absolutely love it, because I wouldn't have had these cool people in my life if it weren't for themed entertainment, theme parks, and all this nerdy stuff that we all love so much. And we couldn't be more thankful for Kenneth and Maddie for being amazing people out there in Orlando when we visited, because, Kenneth was like, sure, I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
Like, no questions. We're like, we don't know you, but thanks, dude. Like, that's awesome.
Exactly.
And, Kenneth was amazing. Maddie was amazing. Just all of them, they all rock. So we're really, really lucky.
It's an amazing community that I am very proud to call my family.
Agreed.
Yeah, but you guys, so I have to ask, will you guys ever change your name? Will you become the theme park trio?
Stop.
I mean, she's becoming a huge part. Like, there's many threads and posts on Facebook over the years of bad parents taking their children to Halloween Horror Nights. They were far too young. Right? And I thought we were those bad parents when we took our youngest when they were 11. How old's Erin?
6.
We took her to all the major haunts out here this year.
Outside of like Queen Mary's Dark Harbor.
Not Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, but for us, like for our grace, we did not bring her through every house.
No.
It was more like, we went for the vibes, we went for the scare zones.
To test the waters to see how she's gonna do.
So it wasn't like we went all in.
Yeah, we didn't go all in. And a lot of this was prep work. And that's the thing, is that I feel like a lot of people who are like, hey, I'm going to take my 5-year-old to Horror Nights.
Yes.
It's like the equivalent of taking a child who doesn't know how to swim and throwing them in a pool.
Yeah.
Like, that is quite literally the equivalent. And we have been prepping her since the moment she has been born.
Yeah.
With spooky kids stories, or, spooky shows like Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark, introducing her to the Universal monsters, meeting them at Universal Studios Hollywood. This, that, and the third is whatever you can imagine prepping her for something like that, we've done it, including Midsummer Scream, which is a Halloween convention out here in Southern California, which is far less intense, but still has some pretty spooky stuff. And she enjoyed it. So,
and that's where a lot of the haunt monsters go. They all go to Midsummer Scream. So a lot of them knew her before she even stepped foot in any of the parks. So it was more familiar to her than it would be to like the average kid.
Oh yeah. And then on top of it, I mean, you were talking about how you and I are friends and we've never met, and this whole huge theme park community. We have this huge theme park community over here in California and SoCal that has embraced the idea that we are bringing our kid for the first time.
Awesome.
And the moment we say that, they're like, say less, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
And they are there to make sure that she has the best possible time that she could ever have. And, she wears a Nobu necklace, whenever she can. But these monsters aren't getting in her face.
Yeah.
They're not going like full balls to the wall crazy. I'm going to make you poop your pants and not want to ever come back. They want to make a lifer out of her. They want to make her come back. So they're giving her all these incredible memories. And yes, there were times she was scared. And yes, like Nikki said, we didn't take her through every house at Horror Nights. We took her through Ghostbusters.
That was it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But, it's been a long road process to getting where we are today. And I couldn't be more proud of my daughter being able to go through Ghost Town at Scary Farm, or go through all the scare zones at Fright Fest, or go through Ghostbusters at Horror Nights. It was a long process, but she got to this place because we prepped her. It wasn't just, see you later.
But then one thing on your point of changing the name of our podcast, I do have to say a funny thing that happened yesterday. We were at Universal Studios and we got ice cream in Hogsmeade.
I saw the video.
Yes. And so she's like, she wasn't eating and she was just staring at Gabe. And she's like, aren't you going to record my opinion?
Yeah, she's like, I want to review the ice
She
cream.
needed to do a review. So, we're well on our way.
She's definitely learning.
Yeah, basically it was you needed to find out sooner or later whether you were sending her back or not.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, because it's interesting. What would you have done if you'd have took her that first time and she was like just out of her mind, terrified?
Oh, we would have left.
We would have left.
Yeah, we were totally prepared that first time to just be like, okay, if this doesn't work out, we're leaving.
We go home.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. But what about your inner feelings then?
I would deal with them later when I was home alone.
He would have been very upset. But no, we had to talk like, okay, if she doesn't like this and we leave, like we don't say that we're disappointed, none of that. We're just like, okay, that didn't work out. Let's go. So we had a plan.
Erin is very much a child that is in tune with our emotions too.
Yeah.
And she knows when we're upset. She knows when we're not happy. She knows when we're disappointed. And she's definitely a kid who is not wanting to see us disappointed. Because oftentimes she goes, here, have this. I know you're disappointed.
Yeah.
Or something. And the last thing I would want to do is
for her to force herself.
her to force herself into a situation that she doesn't like.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't like it, I'm willing to put everything that I'm feeling aside to make sure that she's comfortable. If that means leaving, it means leaving.
Yeah.
And thankfully, those situations didn't arise. I mean, there was a couple moments where she didn't feel comfortable, so we didn't push it. And we just let her kind of explore the experience on her own. And she felt a lot better doing that than us, kind of directing her. And also kudos to a lot of the monsters. They knew where her boundaries were and they didn't push it.
Yeah.
So
I will tell you what the problem's going to be, though. By the time she gets at an age where she's not bothered by anything, she's literally going to be like Tracy and I, dead inside, walking through those houses, getting no scares, just like, all right.
I know.
Yeah, that's
too.
us. That's
no,
us.
See, and that was my one thing. I was like, okay, we're bringing her so young. Are we taking away the experience that she would have as like a teenager or a young adult? But I was like, no, we're giving her more experiences than we're taking
she's going
away,
to act scared like every other silly teen that goes to these. They're going to throw their hands up and go, don't get me, Mr. Monster, and then start running for no reason.
Or she'll already be scaring.
Okay, yeah, that's where I was going to go. Yes, you beat me to it. Yeah, that's where it's going to lead to 100%.
There's this monster at Fright Fest that's like this vampire monster that does this kind of back overturn roll. Like she turns away from you, but then bends her back backwards so then she can look at you.
Yeah,
okay.
She arches her back. She does that here at home because she saw that monster do it.
She practices sliding. Yeah, she practices
You
a
know
lot,
damn well you're going to be sat downstairs watching the TV one night. She's going to do that exorcist spider crawl down the stairs.
I will crap my pants.
Awesome. Well, it's great to talk to you guys. And again, I really appreciate you being part of the network. Like I said, it was a match made in heaven, and it was just a no-brainer when we actually decided to pull the trigger on it, that you guys were always going to be part of it as long as you were happy with that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so if the sitter wants to find out, or if anyone else listening wants to find out where to find the Theme Park Trio, where can they find you online?
I like how you slightly renamed us while you said that, but thank you. You can find Theme Park Duo on all social media platforms under Theme Park Duo. We just joined Blue Sky as well. You can follow us at Theme Park Duo. Simple as that. And then if you want to listen to the podcast, you check us out on any of the podcatcher apps of your choice. Theme Park Duo Podcast.
Awesome. Cool. Right, well, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, give my love to Erin. And I promise we will make it over to the West Coast at some point.
Okay, bye, Lee.
Bye, Lee.
It was nice
to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
If you go back to an earlier comment, that applies to one of those two. Again, you'll only need to feed and water them every 2 weeks. Nikki's a little shy, but be careful. Gabe more than makes up for it. But don't tell him I told you that. Right, on to the final studio, and that is number 5. And of course, it is home to the OG podcast, the one that started it all, and that is the UUOP in the UUOP network, the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Now, they shouldn't be recording because I'm not there. And if they're recording without me, well, then there's going to be hell to pay because, as you'll find out in a minute, some of us are on more than one are part of more than one podcast. So let's see what's going on.
Are we allowed to talk right now or no?
Yeah, just because Lisa would do later.
What about, who's going to say that's what she said while we're away?
Yeah. Hey guys. So as I've I kind of told you, Tracy, you know, because obviously we're going to Orlando. And Michelle, I've missed you. You managed to make it over. That's good. Did Kenneth tell you, or did you just make it here on your own?
It takes a village. Definitely takes a village.
Okay.
So, no.
Fair
It took
enough.
more than just Kenneth to get me here.
All right, fair enough. You're here, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I'm bringing this sit around because obviously they're looking after the network, and I just want to get them to. I've been introducing them to all the podcasts, so they know who they're looking after, and I've kind of give them the nod of who they need to give a little bit of extra sort of attention to. Jack and Gabe, I'm talking about you too if you're listening back to this at some point. So basically, as we said, Tracy and I are obviously away. Chris and Michelle will be joining us for a little bit, so you won't have to look after us too much, but basically want to go around and just let you introduce yourself to the sitter and let them know what your role is on the show.
My name is Chris. I am one of the co-hosts of UUOP, and I am the CSO, or Chief Speaking Officer, and I make a lot of dumb comments. I forget a lot of things because I have the memory of a doormat, but hey, I'm here.
But you're the one that's been going the longest out of all of us as well.
Yes, I have. I've been going since, what is it now? I know my parents took me to Universal when I was a kid, so that opened up in, 89, 90?
90.
So, 90, yeah.
Chris has just proved exactly what we've been talking about, that he's been going for that long, and he doesn't remember stuff
the memory
as he thinks
of
the
a
park
doormat.
opened in 1989.
I was thinking 1889, but 19's even better. Yeah, I've been going to the parks ever since they've been open. Don't remember as much back then, but yeah, it's a place that I call my second home.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I am newest to the UUOP, but I've been around a while as your resident travel agent, resident 1%er, and Lee's on-air nemesis. So
I wouldn't quite go that far.
I'm definitely going to need the babysitter to continue that role, because otherwise Lee just gets out of control. His head gets real big. He's got to have a nemesis.
Wow.
I love the nemesis. Yeah.
And as you know, Michelle's going for the hardest working person in the network by being part of 3 podcasts at this time. Tracy's challenger, but we'll get to Tracy in a minute.
She can have it. She can take the lead happily.
Yes, as you know, I'm Tracy. On this podcast, what am I? I'm one of the inappropriate commenters. And, I've been here since day one because someone's got to keep Lee in order.
I knew someone was going to say that at this point.
And, really, I'm just the everyman viewpoint. I usually make an idiot of myself because I misinterpret things, usually because I'm not listening to Lee.
That happens a lot. I have noticed when
Wait, we're supposed to be listening to him?
No, don't tell him that. And I'm pretty sure that all I really do bring to this particular table is just Lee sassing, to be honest.
So obviously, I am Lee. Even though I've shown you around all the studios at this point, I haven't actually introduced myself. I am Lee, of course, the founder, I guess, of all of this nonsense.
It's all your fault.
That is the
UUO. The Podfather.
Yes, or the bald overlord, as Gabe calls me.
Does that make me the bald underlord?
I think we'll just leave that there. I am I'm not tooting my own horn, but the driving force behind most of it, to be fair. I am the editor, the writer, the one that probably talks the most, the one that kind of pulls everything together. But I do want to, we talked a little bit of this with the Portkey Passport lot. What I like about the dynamic of us four is we all, like, even though you all kind of stumbled over what you bring to the table, we do all have a unique perspective when it comes to Universal Orlando. Tracy, you have that sort of, like you said, that everyman, the average guest. You're not a theme park nerd, although you don't give yourself enough credit because you do know a lot more than you think.
Yeah, I do know my stuff. But I think I bring in with being a parent as well, and having that role, I see things differently.
The bad parent and Michelle's the good parent. I think it's what we figured out with this, isn't it? Well, we're the ones that never took our kids in a Woody Woodpecker kid zone. By the way. I know.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he should ask my kid before he just names me that, because
and then obviously Chris is the one that's been going, is the local who goes way more than the rest of us do, but also been going way longer. And then Michelle, as I said to the Portkey Passport lot, that they bring a perspective, the same perspective that you bring to the podcast is from a travel agent perspective. So you're going to have a slightly different view of that because you see the sort of backside of it. That there's no way we would have done that Epic Universe ticket episode without, like, if Tracy and I would have done that, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as exhaustive information-wise as it was, because you understand all that backside of it.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
And then there's
You said
me,
backside.
who I feel that, like...
I do understand a good backside.
Come on, Chris. I mean, Michelle laid it up for you.
That's what she
There we
said.
go.
That's what I was looking for, Chris.
I think I bring that passion about Universal Orlando. I couldn't be podcasting about this place that I don't get to go to anywhere near enough for 13 years if I didn't have that passion. And it's one of the things that a lot of our listeners say that we do bring to the table, is that passion about those parks.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then the same as, again, it was the Portkey lot that we were talking about, that we keep it real. It sounds so 1990s, but we're honest about stuff.
Real.
You know? Like, I asked them, what do you feel you bring to the table as a Disney podcast? And one of the things they said was, we're honest.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to quote everything in pixie dust. And I think that's one thing we pride ourselves on. There's times when I know I can be over negative about stuff.
Grinchy.
But
yeah, I mean, it's finding a balance, though.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, because it's also, you know, if you look at a lot of vloggers and stuff like that, it's just overly optimistic and positive.
Yeah.
I think it sets unrealistic expectations for people, where it's like, we just literally just tell you how it is because we have no incentive to do otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it comes from a place of love because we adore that place. And when we see where it's failing or lacking, we know and want it to do better, not just for us, but for everybody, them included.
Yep. And Lee, you got to give yourself a little bit more credit as far as you not being local, and not even local to the US. You know, you don't go as much, but you know what? I think that's what keeps your passion alive for the place.
Yeah.
Because I have recently found myself, like, I went there, not trying to toot my own horn whatsoever, but I did go a lot this year, and I almost felt a little burnt out on my last trip, which is the first time that's happened in a long time.
Wow. Because you find yourself doing the same things over and over again. Was it a little bit of that? Yeah.
Yeah, which is why we spent just a lot of time hanging out in the hotel and doing things that we don't usually do, because I felt like I needed a little something different. But why is this the longest running Universal podcast? I think it's because you don't get to go super often.
That's possibly true.
It's kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And a little bit of stubbornness.
Well, I think there's a massive bit of stubbornness. So I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Because I'm interested. I know the answer to this, but I want your guys' opinion on this. When we started this, there were no other Universal podcasts out there, Tracy. That's why I started it.
Yes, I remember.
Right?
I was there.
There are still not that many.
Nope.
Right.
What do you feel as a Universal Orlando podcast? What do we bring to the table that people, like the reason why people should be listening to UUOP?
Because we're authentic.
Yeah. And expertise. We are the longest running.
Yep.
I mean, you know, we collectively, but you with other hosts, we've been doing this for a really long time in different aspects, as you just heard from each of us individually. And, you know, we love the place. We're not just doing this because we're trying to make money or trying to, you know, monetize like everybody in the world is trying to be an influencer right now. That's not what this is. You started this podcast way before that was even a thing. And I feel like so many people right now are just trying to start podcasts and different social media accounts just to monetize and become an influencer. And that's not us.
Nope.
Because you're jumping. I don't want to say that people are, because why not? That's what spawns a lot of things. But not jumping on the bandwagon is the phrase I was going to use. But they kind of are, because they realize Universal is hot now, and it's like, well, I want to do that, and that's not a slight on anybody, because why the hell not? But Chris, because obviously Michelle and Chris bring an interesting perspective, because you were listeners before you were on the show.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously did a Producers Club, what was it, a roundtable, right? That was the first episode.
You were on as a guest host.
Or
that
guest host. Right.
I have made you feel really bad for, because I don't remember it at all.
Wow.
I need to go back and listen to that episode.
That's how tight we are.
No, we are now.
I think it goes back to, and we kind of mentioned it already, is kind of the truthfulness. We just kind of say how things are, how we feel. Sometimes, not that it's gotten us in trouble, but we've gotten feedback before. But it's like, hey, we're being honest.
Yes.
And like I think Michelle mentioned as well, like sometimes we will talk pretty negatively about something, but it's from a place of love because we really do love this place. And the reason why we're pointing out some of these negative aspects is because we want to see them do better, not that we are trying to bash them.
We know they can do better. I think that's the thing.
Yes.
Correct. Especially being around for so long. Like, this podcast has been around for a long time. I've been going to the parks since I was a kid. So I've seen different things over the years. And then kind of when if we see something go afoul, it's like, oh, well, you guys can do better than this. We've seen you do better than this. So I think that's one thing. And then the other side, for me at least, and I've talked about this before on the show, I think also the community that has been built around this is a huge driver, because we've all here have made amazing friendships with other listeners, producers, and also really great friendships with people that work at Universal too. Like it's, the having those interviews and just conversations has sparked side conversations. I mean, it's sparked other podcasts with people that have worked at the parks. So I think those two things really has helped to the longevity of this podcast.
Yeah. Right. And, I want to speak to the fact that I was a listener before I was a host. You guys are very tangible, which in today's world of influencers, that's not always the case, especially from someone who's been in this industry now for how long is it when did you start this? 12 years ago?
2011. So next year will be our 14th anniversary.
Almost 14 years ago. So would someone with that longevity in the world of influencers would be very inaccessible, I think, in today's world. However, I have to give you kudos, Lee, because it's you. You are very accessible to our listeners.
I am.
You are very responsive. Very quickly, someone messages us, someone emails, you are on it.
Yeah.
And no matter how many people come to say hi to us or track us down in the parks or, pretend like we're famous and we're absolutely not, like your head never grows bigger.
It does a little bit
in
I'll
that
be honest.
aspect. It grows bigger in other aspects, but not in that one. I have tried really hard to convince you that you are special in this world, and you never listen to me. So in that aspect, as a listener, that's very cool. Like it's very cool to know that a listener can write in and ask a question or make a comment, and you are there like as a real person responding and listening and helping, which is I think it's rare in podcasts.
It's one thing I've always tried to do is respond to every email we get.
Yeah.
Because I know how much it means. If you email your favorite, whatever it might be, and you get a response back, I know how that feels. So
it's 100% Lee. I mean, I am terrible. Lee and Chris and Tracy, all of you can attest, and it's fine. I'm terrible at responding.
I'm even worse than you probably, because I don't even respond to Lee sometimes when he needs something from me. So
exactly. So
not intentionally, just I am terrible with it.
Me too. Yep.
Going off the back of all of that as well, when you listen to the show, you get us. We don't sensationalize anything. No. You could eavesdrop, you could follow us around the park and eavesdrop, and we are the same people in real life that you hear on the show.
Yes.
So
as I said on our mental health episode, it might be a slightly toned down version of who we are at times.
Sometimes full head comes out.
Well, that's safe for the after shows.
Yeah,
we try to. But yeah, what it literally is, what you hear is what you get. We don't have personas. We're not acting or anything like that. At the end of the day, we started this show for ourselves. We made the show we wanted to hear. People liked it, so now we're making it for you lot as well.
Yeah, you beat me to it. That's exactly it. Like, you guys will attest that it took me a long time to actually be confident enough about the show to actually talk to people about it. I was always shied away from it. It's how everyone at work now knows about it, and it's like they think it's cool, whereas I was always like embarrassed by it. But my answer to that question is, what do we bring to the table? And again, I'm not on anyone else in the Universal Orlando theme park community, podcast community, but there is nobody doing what we do in our space. Some of the interviews that we have gotten over the years still blow me away. I still get nervous when we do interviews. You know, we've interviewed Mike Aiello, Charles Gray, Laura Sauls, Patrick Braylard,
Greg Hall.
Yeah, Greg Hall, and then going off that, some of the people who you've never even heard of, who have worked on attractions, and for me, they're the bigger ones.
The people, the music.
Bill Kidd's still one of the best episodes we've ever done.
And without that music in the background that people don't necessarily even realise is there, but without that, you would have a different experience because the atmosphere would be off.
I will plug an episode that's coming out in 2 weeks that I did on my own. You guys weren't here because I was pre-recording for a while. We were away with a friend of the show, Kirsty Klein, who through Yummy Jobs in the UK did 2 stints as an international worker at Universal Orlando, working at Amatista and the Splendido Bar and Grill over at Portofino Bay, just as a food runner or a host or whatever, like what you would class as a small job. And talking to her for an hour made me realise how much everyone who is involved at those parks has an impact on your vacation.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. That's us, the OG podcast. So thanks, guys. Tracy, I think it's 2 weeks till we go away, so we still need to get packed. I think we've got everything else, haven't we? Michelle, I still need ticket sorting out from you, please, if I'd appreciate that. Chris and Michelle will only be away for a week, I think, so you'll only have them to look after for a little bit, so it's fine. So I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, I guess. So cheers. Bye.
Bye.
So there you go. That is the UUOP network. You have now been introduced to every member of every podcast, and you know where to follow them. Again, as I've said, Portkey, they need feed and water every 2 weeks, but keep an eye on them, especially Jack. Rush of Fear, again, self-sufficient. Once a month should be enough for food and water. Just keep an eye on them. Taste of Universal, again, nice and self-sufficient, very easy going. Just stick your head in to feed and water them once a month and make sure everything's all right. Theme Park Duo, again, very self-sufficient, but just stick your head in and just keep an eye on Gabe. And if Gabe gets together with Jack, I dread to think what that's going to be like. So just be careful. And again, don't tell them I've said this about them. But yeah, that's the full tour of the facility. I'm sure everything will be fine. But you know, if can go wrong, it will go wrong. But you know what to do if you need any help. And if it goes well, there may be more sitter opportunities for you down the line. Great. Okay. Thanks for coming. And we'll see you soon. Hey everyone, that will wrap up this episode of the podcast and will bring us one step closer to the end of another year of podcasting. I hope you are listening to all the podcasts on the network because I am very proud of what everybody is doing out there in this space. Everyone has their own unique style. Everyone is covering stuff that is relevant to a specific need in the Universal Orlando community, or be it Walt Disney World now, or even out on the West Coast. You know, we're covering a lot of stuff at this point, and we'd really appreciate it if you went and listened to them all. And if you do, go and rate and review them, because that will help everyone else know that there's these awesome podcasts in this awesome network. But for right now, that is going to end another UUOP. Don't forget, we need to get your How Bad is Fast and Furious jokes, as well as your Freeze Ray Pops recordings for Which Stick Gets Your Lick. And we'd love to have you in the Producers Club. All you've got to do is go to uuop.supercast.com to join. But for all the podcasts on the network, thank you, and we will see you again next week.
Are you insane? Get out of here. The curse, it's real. The podcast is over. So, the Magi want you to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcast news and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us by emailing us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, email us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Silence! With your subscriptions, we shall rule for all eternity. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Not even the Magi can save you now. There is no escape. Your end shall be my beginning. Prepare yourself for your next trip by emailing Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. We hope you enjoyed your podcast. Please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the Prepare to Forfeit Your Souls. Check out the other podcasts on the UUOP network. Rush of Fear Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, the Taste of Universal Orlando Food podcast, and the newest podcast on the network, the Port Key Passport, our Disney-centric podcast. So hey, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. I would have enjoyed this podcast a lot more if I had gotten my cup of coffee.